Welcome to Lair the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, my 10 favorite Rush songs. It's kind of surprising I haven't done more Rush videos because I do really like Rush. I will put it out there, though, that I am one of those guys that really only likes the 70s and the first couple albums from the 80s. It seems like a lot of Rush fans are divided around that Signals, maybe Grace Under Pressure. And I kind of remember Power Windows being the last Rush album that I bought when it came out, and then I just sort of lost interest in them. So really, they started to lose me on Grace Under Pressure. So all of my picks really are going to be from that sort of Signals, Grace Under Pressure, and earlier era of the band. Although I did kind of come back around to Rush with Test for Echo and Counterparts. That got me interested in the band again. But although I like those records and the albums that came after that, there wasn't anything to really break into my top 10. So, all right, here we go. In no particular order, from Permanent Waves, Natural Science, the final cut on this record. I like the way it starts off mellow, and then there's that really nasty riff, that and there's like a little bit of an effect on Geddy's voice. I like the way his voice sounds on that, and of course fantastic playing from everybody involved. All right, for some reason I don't have this one on vinyl. I was shocked as I was looking through my collection. From the Farewell to Kings album, the song Xanadu. This is a fantastic epic length song with a bunch of different mood changes to it. I always think about that video of them from the Exit Stage Left live album and Geddy behind the keyboards there. To stand within the pleasure dome decreed by Kubla Khan, and then he just does that awesome bass fill. Do 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 do. It's just great, you know. Neil Peart on the drums. It's got all kinds of stuff going on, but it's a well structured, very kind of moody, atmospheric type song that builds really well. And although it's a long song and it has these spots that are just sort of, I don't want to say sound effects, but where sort of the drums drop out, Neil's doing like the wood block sounds and everything, it keeps your interest, you know, it really keeps you engaged. That's what I love about Rush during this era. Not everything was just chopsy type stuff. They were able to do the more atmospheric and moody type stuff, and Xanadu is a great example of that. All right, number 3 from 2112, the title track 2112. This is another great example of a long song that goes by very quickly. I'm including the whole thing here. You know, Temples of Syrinx is awesome. The riffs in it are killer. I did a video on this with Pete Pardo, and we talked about how, for me, it was progressive, but there were still enough power chords and riffing there that it wasn't out of my grasp as a 10, 12-year-old kid. I could relate to this coming from the world of Black Sabbath and, you know, Ozzy and AC/DC and Dio and stuff like Judas Priest and stuff like that. I was able to relate to this type of progressiveness, whereas stuff like Emerson, Lake and Palmer and some of the later era Yes stuff, it took me a little bit more time to be able to understand that stuff and get into it. I was able to embrace 2112 right away. And I think that's because of the solid riffing in it. There's a lot of great riffs, and it's still catchy and melodic, and it keeps you engaged. Okay, from Hemispheres, I picked The Trees. I've often said that Neil Peart is one of my favorite rock lyricists, and this is a perfect example of this. It is just beautiful storytelling. I love it. I love the symbolism in it. It's a way you can sort of relate it to mankind, the trees in the forest, just like man. And another song that's long, but it's got a lot of great changes in it. I love the classical guitar-like thing at the beginning. Alex Lifeson, very underrated guitar player, in my opinion. Beautiful song. Fantastic lyrics. From Fly By Night, By Tor and the Snow Dog. This, you know, Rush beginning to find themselves here at this point with their second album. It's a longer song. I love the main riff to it. I love the lyrics. I love the middle section, which I guess is supposed to be like a battle, you know, going on in that. Whatever that weird noise is, I would never knew. I guess it's a guitar, like with some sort of effect on it. That like noises. I think that's great. The drumming in it is fantastic. I love the way the song just jumps right in, right into the verse and everything. And so it's just a super cool jamming song, man. I love them this era when it was no keyboards, just the 3-piece. When the guitar's going, Geddy's going crazy underneath them. So fantastic. That was number 5. Number 6. Again, these are in no particular order. From Caress of Steel, in my opinion, one of their heaviest albums, Bastille Day. Love the riffing in this, the driving nature of it. It's the opening track, so it just kind of comes blasting out at you. Super heaviness. Again, this is the era where the guitar was driving the majority of these songs, and Alex's, riffing in this is just super heavy, and great lead playing from him too. Just real kind of Marshall, Les Paul sound, just blasting out of the speakers. So cool song. I'm going to keep this one up for number 7, the song Necromancer. Love the changes in this, all the different moody changes, the way it starts off, real sort of atmospheric. It sets this creepy medieval type mood with the spoken word thing, almost like a narrator in some ways. And then when that bass riff kicks in, do dad, da do da da. That is just so cool, man. The way those hits are, they're just so tight. Again, this was progressive, but as a young metalhead, I can relate to this because there was so much heavy riffing. And when this song just gets in and starts driving, it is just such a cool song, man. It's one of my favorite Rush songs. This is an underrated Rush album, in my opinion. All right, from Moving Pictures, also the last song on this, like Natural Science. I like these last songs. Vital Signs. I really like the chorus in this one. I love the way it shifts gears. All of a sudden it goes into like this reggae feel, and the chorus is super catchy, super melodic. I love Geddy's bass sound on this whole record, but in this one in particular, it's just got a really cool sound to it, and just an awesome song and a cool way to end the record. All right, back to Farewell to Kings. Cygnus X1, Book 1, The Voyage. This is another multi-part kind of song, bunch of different sections, very atmospheric and moody. Feels like you're in outer space. I love the part where you hear the bass fade in on that do-da, do-do-da. That is just so... I almost sang that when I did the Necromancer thing because it reminds me of a similar type of thing. But the way the bass sort of fades in and then the drums come in with it, oh man, just super cool. And that spot where just everything gets sort of crazy, spinning, whirling, creeping, and Geddy just sings that like notes. It's just like dog whistle range note. It's just so awesome. Love that song. All right, and then my last pick here is Distant Early Warning. This is the latest Rush album, whatever this was. What was this, 82 or 83 or something? I think it was Martin Popoff that said it in his review of this, that if you listen very closely, this is the last time you will hear Rush really rocking out, okay? Don't get mad at me. I'm loosely quoting that from Martin there. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but something to that extent, and it did kind of feel that way. This is the album where the keyboards really started to take over, and invade the space of Alex Lifeson, and the guitars stopped carrying with the riffs a lot of the songs, and it became more textural on the keyboards, and Alex took more of a, his guitar sound became more chordy and picked out notes and a lot of reverb on the sound. But this particular song, Just an Early Warning, it rocks. Absalon, Absalon, at the end of the song, the world weighs on my... That's just there's a lot of energy to it, a lot of pushing forward, and even though there's keyboards in it, it works in this song for me. All right, there you go. There's my 10 favorite Rush songs. I know I have a lot of Rush fans out there. Give me some of your favorite Rush songs below. Got any from the later era of the band, the late 80s and the 90s? Let me know if any of those songs are your favorite. Put them down in the comments down below. Okay, and until we see you again, make sure you rock hard, ride free.